balancing act. The Rocks are something else. Grant standing here with their temple chic and their stage names, flaunting their alien shapes. Fluted Manhattans, melted castles, monster fossils. One gyroscopes on a stone spur. Others trumpet their warped anvils and weird mushrooms over the valleys below and as far as the coast. Of course, the horizon doesn't exist, but here it is, a scattered henge, massive chunks of ballast holding the centuries down, keeping the planet in place. Counterweights to the mad contraptions of cities and towns, a jittery mind can lean into these blocks and sense the still centre of things thinking solidly back. The afternoon sunbathes on south-facing slabs. And the moor is something again. The sky's garden, turfed roof of the hill. Of course, the horizon is only a trick of the light. But here it is, rolled out and chamfered into the clouds at both sides, a snug fit. It's raining now, and the paths are streaming or frothing or puddled with dark brew, but so what? Away from the manic circuitry of the world, a person striding this off-grid weather farm is laundered and reset by buffeting winds and sudden light. The jumbled mind can feel itself grounded, earthed. Look, a micromoth carries both rocks and moor across the papery scales of its wings. All my perceptions about the rocks I've tried to feed into the poem. I've called the poem Balancing Act. I suppose I was thinking to begin with of perhaps the most famous stone here, the Idol Rock. It's this huge slab of stone balanced very improbably on a smaller spur of stone underneath it. But I was also thinking about the balance between the stony rocky area and the moor above it, and trying to encourage people to look away from some of the more glamorous marquee Hollywood aspects of nature and focus their attention on things that aren't as visually obvious but still really, really important. I was also thinking about the balance that we have to achieve in our own lives. Most of us live an urban mechanized life, but it's incredibly important to have a relationship with nature and to come out to places like this to find that balance. I was talking about the balance as well in our minds, the mental health benefits of being in places like this and balancing the necessities of work and the stresses of work with time away from it, tranquil time, contemplative time. I've tried to be all things to all people in the poem, probably an impossible task, but that was what I was attempting to do then. Right at the end of the poem, maybe in a fairly surreal ending, I've drawn attention to this tiny little micro moth and suggested that the whole of this site is balanced across its wingspan, just pointing to a little moment in nature. But it can be sometimes those small creatures, those small occurrences in the scheme of things that they're actually holding everything together.